Okay guys, I'm going to make a quick video and show you how to clean out your line sets. If you have a line set that wasn't capped off, they should all be capped off. I'll show you a picture of that. I'll get a close-up. You should, when you get your line set, they usually have the nice caps on there. If they're not capped off and you suspect something might be in your line set, I found out yesterday when I was doing a video that I had oil or water. Something was in this line set. It was dripping out. It wasn't pouring out, but I saw a couple of drops and I went, what the hell? So anyway, if you suspect there's something in your line sets, this is the way to get it out. Use a something like this, battery operated air blower. Well, Milwaukee, DeWalt, there's a bunch of different brands. But it does have some moisture in it because there's moisture in the air, but there's not it's not compressed air. So if you use an air compressor, way bad. I'll show you that too. That's way bad because it's a tank and it has moisture in it because of the tank. Okay, and so there's a release on the tank to get rid of a lot of moisture, but there's still moisture there. Never use compressed air. Okay, it's really bad because that's what a vacuum does. Vacuum is boiling out air and water molecules and stuff like that, stuff inside your line set, and that would just be exacerbating it if you did that. But this right here, it's the same air. There's humidity in the air, of course. It's just here, but that's already in your line set if it's opened. All right, so that same air is already there. So it just doesn't hurt anything. It just takes out any kind of debris that might be in the line set, and I'm showing you how to do that. So I have it hooked up to the your line set is hooked up to the IDU. It goes all the way through. So it's starting out. Let me just go ahead and bring it down there. Okay, so I have both of them disconnected, and so I'm going to just blow into this one here, and the stuff's going to come out here if there's anything in there. Now, hopefully there's nothing in the line set. You're not looking for a whole bunch of stuff, but if you have anything in there, if you suspect there might be something in there, this is the way to do it. Now, I suspected there was something in this line. So I put it a little on there, I'm putting it on here, and I'm going to turn it on and see if we see anything here. Okay, there's nothing in that line set, which is a good sign. There shouldn't be anything in your line set. It's a new line set. If anything had happened to it, like for example, if you thought, for example, there was some kind of debris in there, that's the way to get it out. But make sure you use that kind of a air blower that I showed because it has the least amount of problems. Okay, do not use compressed air. You'll be pushing moisture into your line set. Okay. Okay, never use compressed air, compressed air from an air compressor. Never use that to get a pressure test for your mini split. Okay, it seemed like it would go without saying, but I've had more questions this last week. Is it okay if I do that? The answer is unequivocally no. You cannot do that. You're actually trying to do just the opposite of that. Compressed air from a compressor is got tons of liquid. Most people who have a compressor don't even know this valve exists on the bottom of their tank. What it does is it cleans out the water that's in the tank. All you have here is I keep mine all the way open and keep it going, but you can see how this moisture here, okay, and a lot of people, a gallon would come out because they never do that. Mine are always kept dry. I just wanted to show you that. The point is that's how much moisture you would put inside your system if you tried pushing air through it. Okay, never do that. Use the kind of blower I'm talking about, the regular lawn blower. I'll show you how and show you why. For a pressure test, you need to use nitrogen, period. Nitrogen from a nitrogen bottle and a regulator. It's the only way to do a pressure test on a mini split. But there is a way to clean your line set. If you think you have some debris in the line set, somehow snuck in there or whatever, or somehow you left the caps off the line set and it got filled with water during a storm or something happened, you can clean it out with air from a yard blower, like a garden leaf blower, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay. And just in case you were looking at a little bit of moisture in my hand and saying, oh, that doesn't seem like much, First off, most compressors got way more than that. I say I keep mine dry. I just turn it on for a second so you get a little bit of moisture. That literally makes ounces and ounces per day, depending on your environment. But anyway, so it makes a lot. And if you haven't cleaned it in a while, your whole tank's filled with water. And it's juicy, nasty, disgusting, vile, rusty water. Anyway, the point is, yeah, a little bit of moisture. When I clean, you see me doing my testing, sometimes I clean the valve when I'm doing my vacuuming. And when you do that, when you clean the valve off, there's little tiny micro bubbles around the valve. You can see how the microns go from 100 to 350 or whatever. The little micro bubbles of air, not moisture. Yeah, little bubbles of air, it goes up. You can't even imagine how much microns, if you will, how much water was on my hand in comparison to what we normally have inside of a mini split line set. Done. There's no, in your IDU, there's nothing, because it was factory charged from the company with nitrogen. When you undid the caps, it went ksk. Okay, so you know that thing's dry as a bone. And then your line set, before you took the caps off of it, it was dry as a bone. You put it together and started working on it, and you're trying to get that dry system down to a palatable existence, okay, with vacuuming. Okay, that's like drier than dry, already super dry system. You're trying to get drier. Okay, that's the whole point. Vacuum's not a vacuum like a vacuum like a house if you're on carpeting, nothing like that at all. It boils out the non-condensables. It literally boils them out, not like boiling like on a stove, a different process altogether. There's not that heat involved in a sense. You can get hot from that kind of vacuum boiling. But the point is, that's what it does. It's boiling out the non-condensables, getting it out of there, okay? And so the point is, don't put any moisture in. You can use that yard one, like I said. If you had to clean out a line set, if you have something inside you need to get out, that's the only way to get it out. You know, so that would be a viable way of doing it, but nothing else. Please don't fill up your system with compressed air.